Okay, hello, my name is Carol Zari, and I'm going to present my tool of choice. This tool was chosen out of necessity. I teach at the University of Mary Hardin-Baylor in Belton, and we are currently social distancing on campus. We can't have more than 10 students in a classroom. So we have 3 classrooms because we have 30 students. And then out of those 30 students, we have right now we have 2 that have to be at home through the COVID stuff. So I not only have 3 classrooms, but I also have people at home that I have to make sure that I keep engaged. And I teach research. So there you have it. Research may not be the the easiest course to keep students engaged in. So I've done my best, and what I did, we were working on quantitative research right now and teaching quantitative appraisal, and so my idea was to do a quantitative appraisal between the 3-4 classrooms using Google Docs. And I also used a PowerPoint presentation to get them, to teach them how to do a quantitative appraisal. And then they were actually to do one in class. And I'll share with you how I did that. I'm going to share my screen and I will show you. Actually, I'm going to show you my assessment tool first so that you can see why I chose this. And it is going to be right here. Okay, so on here, this is a Google Doc. It's not the one that I use. I'll get to it in just a moment, but this is, I put my assessment tool on here for you. Going through the material that we had for this unit, I found it very, very useful because one thing that I noticed was you either use tools that you have already or you're trying to get new tools to use. And there's 2 different ways that you would assess that for the tools. And what I'm using now, the tool that I chose was Google Docs because it is available to everyone already on campus through the college. So we know that it doesn't cost anything. They have complete access to it. So I don't really have to worry about that part of it. But I do need to worry about these other things. So the student demographics, and that would be, where are my students? Well, I've got them in 3 different classrooms and at home, so can they all access this easily? And the answer to that would be yes. And access, do they have computer access? Yes, they do. If they didn't, it would be very difficult to do this. Is it easy to use? Most students, yes, they have used this already and have been using it. Does it meet the course content or the unit objectives? Well, my unit objectives is for them to be able to quantitatively or to appraise quantitative literature. And I wanted them to work together so that they could think, pair, share ideas back and forth. And so yes, the answer was yes to that. And then the environment that they're in, again, that's another, the same thing that we just talked about before. That's very important when you're looking at a tool. And throughout the lesson, transferability was big, and I don't think the word was really ever said, but is this tool something that they can take and learn to use for other things? And I think this will help them not only for this course and for this unit, but for other activities outside so they can learn how to study with it. Is it easy for me to teach them how to do it? Yes, and that's something that's very important to me. We don't have enough time as it is, so taking time to teach the tool is, it's very important that it doesn't take that much time. And then the time to use it, that's another issue that I thought was very important. And the learning curve, these kind of all go together. Some students have never done it before, so what is the learning curve? Does it take very long to learn it? Is it forward thinking friendly? So can they take the material that they've got now with this and move it to another assignment, or can this assignment grow? And so from a Google Doc perspective, yeah, you can grow, they can keep adding to it. Is it reflective? Can they take it with them and learn from it? It's not something that has to stay in one place. They could print it off, they could take it and open it up anywhere they wanted to. And I think that's very important. Can it work for, I have some students that would prefer to work individually, where I have other students that prefer to work in a group, and Google Docs is really good about that. You can have separate docs that some people can do individually. You can give them individual pieces of it, of the assignment to do. So I really like that aspect of it too. Is it Mac and Android accessible? Sometimes I do have problems with that, and I'm still trying to figure out how to get around all the Mac versus the Android stuff. So that's to be determined. And does it connect to our learning management system? That's really important, because once they get their assignment done, I want it to be easy enough for them to upload it to their assignment in the learning management system. So those are the things that I look at for current things that we have access to. And then if I was trying to add a new item in, like there was like the Flipgrid, or there's several different things that I've been thinking about adding or showing faculty. Some of those things I would have to consider what's the cost. And if you see here, I've got current and potential items. So what is the cost of it? Is it going to cost the school anything? Is it secure within our environment or within our learning management system? Will it have updates, and will it require updates? And if it does everybody have to update it, or just does it update throughout the system? I think that's important. Does faculty want it? Is it something that's user friendly that the faculty can say, oh yeah, we can easily do that? Or is it going to be a real hard sell? And is it something that can be used across courses, or is it just something like a dissector or something that can only be used in one course? That's going to be very important. Okay, so that's my tool of how I of what I use to determine whether it would work or not. So now I kind of want to show you what I did with my students. I'm going to go back out here and make sure that I am sharing this correctly. I'm going to share again. Screen 2 here, share. Okay. Talking myself through this, people. All right, here we go. So what I did, you'll see this is a list of some of my Google Docs that I've used. And so the other day I set it up and I set it up 2 different pieces of the assignment, those that were at home and those that were here at school. And I connected the dots. So you might say, for those of you that are occupational therapists, you'll understand what the performance framework is. And so I wanted to connect research and the article that we were going to be reviewing to the framework. So I had those at home working on the framework. And this is what you can see names out beside them. It's just first name, so it's no big deal. But these were things that each person was working on from home. And so I had these screens up, and I'll show you how I did that as well. So I split the screen, and I had the people from home were working on this one. And then, so I'm going to pull that out over here, and then I'm going to go, and I'm going to open another one, or the other one that was being worked on, which was the in-class quantitative appraisal. And I'm going to pull that one out, and maybe it won't let me do that. Okay, so there's more than one way to skin a cat. I am going to go into Google again, and I'm going to go to my docs. Here we go. And I'm going to open up the second one, which is the quantitative appraisal. So now you can see that I have both things that are both documents that are being worked on at the same time, and these are showing on screens in all three of our classrooms and at home. So I can stand at my computer in the classroom and see what the students are doing. And that is the same one. Now, why is that the same one? Hang on, I'm so sorry. Let's see. Go back to the OTPF. Okay, now we got it. Now that's the two different ones. So we've got the OTPF activity going on and the quantitative appraisal going on at the same time. And so this way I can watch as they're going. And there was a lot of times when they were writing stuff in here and I'm like, okay, guys, I want you to think about it from this perspective. So I was giving immediate feedback to their activity that they were doing. And so once it was over, they had this that they could keep and they could upload to their assignment. As well as I went back and I used a PowerPoint. Let's see if I can find that. So after they did this part, I finished it up with a PowerPoint going over the exact, nope, that's not it, that's assignment. Here we go. Nope. I'm sorry. Y'all are probably going, what is this girl doing? Does she even know what she's doing? Maybe not. Hey, but at least you're enjoying it, right? Okay. Sorry, where am I? Okay, so here's the PowerPoint. So I took all of these things here that where it says room one had to work on the problem statement, the literature review, and the design and sample population. Room 2 worked on protection of human subjects, method statistical analysis, blah, blah, blah. And then I took, after they did that, we went through the whole thing again, and I did it on PowerPoint so we could see and match up what they did to what was actually the answers. And I think they really got a lot out of that. They seemed to like it. It was interactive. They didn't have to sit and listen to me like you guys are having to sit and listen to me. So anyway, that's how I did that. And hopefully this has helped you a little bit and not confused you too much. But I found it to work really well to split the screen because we have huge screens in our classrooms, which is really nice. And so they can see everything that's going on at the same time. And I think that was a really big plus for us. And so I did make a little activity for our class, and I'm going to upload the link. So here we have tech and higher education, and I'll put the link in my submission. But I wanted everybody to go in and try to upload a picture of you and your pet. And if you don't have a pet, upload a picture of something you find interesting. And this is my daughter and my dog on the first day of school. Yes, my dog likes to think that she's a human. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed it. And I look forward to looking at everybody else's and getting some ideas from you guys too.